All right, guys, let's get started. It's a 103 here, and if people join as we're going along, that is A-OK. So I want to welcome you guys to the third episode of our School of Commerce Shopify lessons. I'm extremely excited today to be talking with a guest that we're going to be having on. Just so you guys know, if you don't already know, my name is Kevin Wild. I'm the partner manager here at Bull Commerce. I've done all three lessons so far. So if you've joined one of these lessons before, you've likely heard my voice. Today's going to be a little bit different than our traditional lessons because we're going to be talking with Justin from Lucky Tackle Box, which is one of the largest subscription boxes available on Shopify. They've had some tremendous success with the subscription box model, as well as with the Shopify model and with our recurring orders app. So we're gonna be talking with Justin, asking him a few questions. We're gonna be going into how they found success, what are some of the lessons they learned along the way, and hopefully you guys will be able to take away something that will let you guys start subscription boxes yourself, or just learn a little bit more about the subscription model. At the very least, maybe you'll learn a little bit more about fishing tackle. So before we get started into the questions, I'll give you guys a little overview of how this is gonna work. I estimate that the whole webinar will go for around 30 minutes, depending on how many questions we go through. We are going to have a Q&A at the end, so if you do guys have any questions for Justin, feel free to enter them as time's going along, and we'll get to them at the very end. And lastly, just before we go any further, if you can't hear me right now and I'm happen to be talking to myself, which I hope I'm not, please just submit a question and say, hey, Kevin, we can't hear you, and we will adjust our mics accordingly so that you don't miss out on this. So without further ado, let's get started. Justin, are you there?
I'm here.
Perfect. Thanks for jumping on, Justin. It's great to have you on.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I apologize to everyone because I'm fighting a sinus infection right now, so my voice is a little gone, but I'm gonna do my best.
Oh, brutal. That sounds terrible. Well, at least hopefully you can get some rest.
Yep.
So let's get right into it. I've obviously talked with you a bunch, but I would love to hear. I'm sure a lot of our listeners would love to hear the story about how Lucky Tackle Box got started. Maybe tell us a little bit about what Lucky Tackle Box sells and really the model of your business.
Yeah, sure. So we've kind of evolved into our current model of Lucky Tackle Box. We originally started as sort of an online resource for fishermen, recreational fishermen. We provided fishing reports, information on fishing spots, and sort of like a social community where people could share like photos and videos and plan trips and that sort of thing, all related to fishing. And after we got started, we kind of started seeing a bunch of these subscription box business models coming along, and we thought that fishing would be like the perfect market for that sort of thing. People are constantly losing their fishing gear, their hooks and lures. Things get lost in the water, and people constantly need the new stuff. So we took that business model and we launched Lucky Tackle Box. And the way it works is basically people pay a monthly fee, and every month we send them a curated box of all these new fishing lures and gear, and a lot of videos and how-to knowledge on how to use the things that we're sending them.
No, it's a fantastic business model, and it seems to be even growing in popularity as the years go by. I know I've seen subscription boxes from everything from obviously Tackle Box to different kinds of Asian candy. I know my wife subscribed to a box that came every month, and it just had a bunch of this foreign candy that I couldn't read any of the labels, and some of it was really weird. There was like a meat-flavored toffee, but it was interesting to try them all and just to kind of get a surprise every month.
Nice.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. So were you, how long have you been with Lucky Tackle Box? Have you been there since the very beginning?
I joined very early on. I think it was like 2010 that I joined, and originally I was a freelance web developer for the original site. And I kept working as a developer on that concept until about, I think, early 2015, and then I joined full time, and that's when things really started getting going with the subscription model.
Yeah, it definitely seems like you guys had a lot of success in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, like I said, we evolved into this, so for a while it was a lot of misses. We were trying to do the retail thing, we were trying to do the online community, and it never really clicked until we started doing the subscription boxes. But once we started that model, it's taken off.
And did you guys start your store on Shopify, or were you using another e-commerce platform before?
We were using we've used several things actually, and if you're talking about the box subscription program specifically, I think Shopify was our second piece of software we used.
And do you know what led you to use Shopify? Was it just the the functionality, the breadth of different apps available, or something else?
I mean, it's affordable, it's scalable, it's reliable. There's a huge app market, so you can get a lot of out of the box functionality and quickly add features and implement new things. It's a great platform.
Yeah, we definitely agree. Clearly, we develop a lot of apps for it.
Yeah.
So one of my first conversations with you, Justin, was you had given us a call over at Bold. We at the time we have our recurring orders app, and you guys had expressed interest in switching from your previous subscription provider, which, if I'm not mistaken, was Chargeify, and you had wanted to take your large base of existing subscribers and transfer them over into recurring orders. What kind of led the discussion to wanting to switch to recurring orders? What was it about recurring orders that kind of led you to want to switch?
Well, the main thing was we wanted to give our customers more control over the subscriptions. So with Chargeify, it was hard to customize the experience. And if customers wanted to switch their subscription to a different box type, or if they wanted to even cancel their subscription or update billing info, it was really confusing and hard to do. And basically, our customers ended up contacting us through customer service, and we had to make all the changes ourselves, which becomes extremely difficult once you start scaling and have, thousands or tens of thousands of customers.
For sure. And one of the things, I remember this is one of the discussions we had early on when you guys were switching over, is for store owners who were looking to build, an existing business and model and add subscriptions to their online store. Gaining subscribers is obviously one part of it. We dream of having 10 or 20,000 subscribers, but the other half of it is, once you gain subscribers, is keeping them. Anyone who runs a subscription business knows that once you start losing subscribers, you may not get them back. So it's important to reduce that, what we call a churn rate. So this is kind of an interesting story because we work together on a specific flow. But I'd love to ask you, Justin, how do you guys combat churn? How do you guys keep people subscribed to Lucky Tackle Books? Obviously, it's a great product and people love the product. What else do you do on top of that to keep people, subscribed?
Yeah, well, one thing we do is we try to provide a lot of variety and flexibility so that there's always an option for a customer. So if they live up north in a cold climate during the winter time, we offer the ice fishing box so that when it becomes too cold for other types of fishing, we don't lose the customer. They just switch to the ice fishing box, and we kind of tie that into functionality that we built with you guys at Bold, where if someone tries to cancel their subscription, we have sort of a cancellation management. So if someone tries to cancel, it basically asks them, why do you want to cancel, and how can we get you to stay? And it offers different options for the customer. So it could be switching to a different type of box. It could be getting a box every other month instead of every month. Different options like that.
Yeah, and I remember when you guys first brought this over to us, this idea of a cancellation flow. it was really genius because I had at the time, you guys had talked about how Audible, the online book service, had created this cancellation flow. And there's, here's an article here, and there's tons of them online if you search it up, or if you just create an Audible account and try to cancel it. Um, it's genius how it works. They, like you said, they ask you why you want to cancel. If it's too much, if you have too much of the product, if you don't read anymore, and then it just offers you options to stay. Here's a discount for 20% off if it's too expensive, or if you're going to be away for a few months, let's put your subscription on hold. Or if you don't like the product, here's maybe a different variant of the product that we don't offer to everyone else. It's really genius to keep people on, and in some ways maybe it even can upsell them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have the possibility of upselling. I think usually you might be, getting a little less business from the customer, but it's a lot better getting less business than getting none and completely
No,
losing the customer. So it works
I
really well.
completely agree. Well, we like when we look at the screen here, as people can see, like one of the features that we really worked with when we started to notice the subscription box model was growing, was enabling prepaid subscriptions. So this is a feature of recurring orders, which allows store owners to offer varying lengths of subscription. So as you can see on the screen here, Lucky Tackle Box offers four different options. They offer a straight up monthly option if you just want to pay every month and you get a box every month. Or you can prepay for 3, 6, or 12 months in advance, receive a discount, and still receive the box every month. But you're just making one nice payment. So this is, I mean, obviously for you guys, Justin, this is a win because you can allow people to commit to getting your service for a long time. They can buy it as a gift. At the same time, they're still receiving it every month, so it doesn't add any sort of logistical challenges on your end because you're just still shipping it on the same interval. Um, are there any other marketing initiatives that you guys have implemented that you have found crucial to growing the subscriber base of Lucky Tackle Box?
Well, one of the biggest ways we market is using social media. Uh, we have a huge following on Facebook and YouTube, and we have a whole team that we call Team Lucky that puts together videos of unboxing the boxes that we send out and how-to videos on how to use the products that we're sending. And we found that social media has really been the sweet spot for us as far as marketing goes.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I've definitely noticed, you guys are really active on YouTube and Instagram for sure, posting all that kind of stuff. I've kind of found that is, part of the excitement of getting a subscription box is the unboxing of taking each item out, kind of seeing what it is, being surprised. And it seems like a lot of people are encouraged to share pictures of what they received that month, kind of as a promotion and maybe a contest for the customers.
Yeah, absolutely. People seem they really seem to like being part of what feels like a community, I guess, rather than just receiving a box of products every month. It's a lot of people talking about the products and what they catch with them and how they use them. And people like feeling that sort of sense of community, I think.
No, for sure. Another question, I had wanted to ask you is, obviously you guys, are at the forefront of subscription boxes. In my opinion, you guys do one of the best jobs of marketing your product on social media and otherwise, as well as just creating a well compromised subscription box. All the branding matches. It looks nice. It comes in an awesome little box with a bunch of different tackle. Like it's a fantastic service. Um, how do you see, obviously, like I said, since you guys have been part of the subscription service for a while, how do you see it transitioning in the future? Do you see any big changes coming to the subscription business in the future?
Well, I think one way that you can really get to the next level in a subscription business is more personalization. Um, we've taken one step in that direction, and that's offering different types of fishing boxes. We have bass fishing, fishing, ice fishing, saltwater. But I think the more you use the technology and the data on your customers, the more you're able to really personalize the types of products that individual people want to receive. And I think that's kind of the future and the next step for us.
No, I mean, I think that could be said about just e-commerce in general. Having a ton of data about your customers and then utilizing it to improve your product and target it more to those specific customers. I mean, that's how you're going to sell more.
Yeah, for sure. It just becomes it's really a an issue of the technology and the getting the product, the warehousing, the fulfillment, and that sort of thing. It's a complicated process, but I think if you can do that, it's really worth it in the end.
Well, for sure, and I think over time we're only going to see more and more subscription boxes, um, you know, come to market in the future for a bunch of different ideas. Like I mentioned earlier about the Asian International Candy Box. I think those are only going to continue to multiply in different ideas. Do you are there any other subscription boxes that you guys at Lucky Tackle Box have looked to for inspiration when you guys were starting out, or ones that you've kind of looked to for like marketing ideas?
Sure. Well, you mentioned Audible before. That gave us inspiration for the cancellation management functionality. Dollar Shave Club is a huge subscription program that has really great marketing and is a really great service. And then BarkBox. BarkBox provides basically treats and toys and accessories for your pet, for your dog, and they do a really good service. So we've looked at them for some of our inspiration.
Yeah, I've definitely heard. Of course, we've all heard about Dollar Shave Club too, and I've also heard of BarkBox as well. I have a few friends who subscribe to it, and they receive different treats every month. I have it pulled up here on my computer. I agree. They definitely have a very good business that they've been able to promote, and one of the things they do as well, and it seems to be a trend with subscription boxes, is really emphasizing those 6 or 12 month prepaid plans rather than the monthly options.
Yeah, we were talking about churn earlier. That's if you sell a prepaid subscription, that's a way to combat churn right from the get-go, right from the checkout.
No, it's for sure. Are you? I gotta ask. Are you subscribed to any of these boxes yourself?
Not at the moment. I actually moved to Norway recently, and I don't think any of them ship here, so I'm kind of out of luck.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty tough to get a lot of stuff to ship there. Most of it just seems to be U.S. and Canada only. And you guys ship to Canada and U.S., right?
Correct.
Perfect. Are there, as you guys have grown in size, quite rapidly, are there been any, growing pains that you have come across on your business when you've transitioned from, a small amount of subscriber to, over 20,000?
For sure. I think the key to everything is automation. Basically, making every step of the process as automated as possible and making sure that your customers can take care of things themselves. Otherwise, the more you scale, the more difficult it's going to be to just stay on top of all the small issues that you start having to take care of thousands and thousands of times. If you can make it happen automatically, then you're golden. You can focus on the strategic part of your business, which is really the part you want to be thinking about.
No, I think that's a great lesson is about automation, obviously reducing the time. And I've noticed a lot of stores, here at Bold, we've worked with stores that are, just starting off as brand new Shopify stores and stores that are, multi-million dollar shops. And that definitely seems to be one of the ways that stores achieve success is focusing on certain elements of the business that are within their control and then taking those other elements and outsourcing them or finding ways to reduce the amount of time spent on doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. That wrapped up all the questions that I had for you, Justin. I'd love to. We got a few questions here already from the audience. I'd love to get some more questions from the audience, so feel free to submit any questions that you guys have. In the meantime, I just want to talk about a couple features that are coming to recurring orders. One of which that is already available, and one of which is coming soon. And Justin, maybe you'd be interested in the one that's coming soon. So the first feature that we just added to recurring orders, and this feature is specifically for subscription boxes, is the ability to ship, when you ship weekly, to ship on a specific day of the week. So currently with recurring orders, you have the ability to ship on a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly basis, or any other variants of those. But if you select, say you only want to ship on every 2 weeks, you can actually select the option to have your customers charged on every Monday, so that they're not getting charged on Monday this week, Wednesday the 2 weeks from then, and have a bunch of different confusion when the customer's expecting to get charged. This goes really along with an option we had before, which was the ability for you to set the day of the month customers get charged. And this is popular for most subscription boxes, where it seems like the vast majority of them will be charging their customers on 1 day per month. And that's what you guys do at Lucky Tackle Box, right, Justin?
Yeah. We charge once per month unless they're a prepaid customer, and then they get charged once every 3, 6, or 12 months. But it's they get charged when they first join, and then we move the billing date to the 15th of every month.
Yeah, so basically just like we have here, you can basically decide what day of the month you want to charge everyone on. If you want to say, I want to charge all my customers once a month on the 15th of every month. And then you also can select a little buffer, which is basically the lead up time that you're going to allow them to buy in order to receive their box on the 15th. So maybe give a week buffer, so you have to buy at least a week in advance to receive that box. But yeah, it definitely seems like that's the trend of where subscription boxes have kind of gone. The second feature I wanted to show you guys, and this is one that's coming out. It's actually slated to come out tomorrow, so it'll be coming to recurring orders very soon. Is a little bit more flexibility on the discounts that you can offer on people signing up for subscriptions. So for a long time, we basically offered the ability for you to say there are either no discounts when you subscribe, or you can get a flat 5% off to anybody who subscribes. So most subscription boxes are subscription only, meaning that you only can receive them if you sign up on a monthly basis. I've seen a few that have allowed customers to buy a one-off box. I don't know if they've been successful with it, but the ones that have, I've seen them use this feature to say, hey, give 5% off extra if you subscribe, kind of as a little incentive for them to sign up. The new feature we've implemented here is the ability for you to add multiple different discount levels over a variety of different orders. So you can say, for example, when a customer first signs up, give them 10% off the list price for them to subscribe. And then after that ends, after the first order goes through, then switch it off to 5% off for 3 orders. So you can kind of build almost like a tiered discount, where you give them a little bit, a bigger discount right away, and then you lower the discount, and then it would obviously then reduce to the regular price afterwards. The other thing where this might be useful is, for example, if you want to offer a 100% off coupon to the people who first subscribe, so they want to basically, if you sign up, we'll ship your first box for free, you could give them 100% off for the first order, which would then switch to 0% off after 1 orders. So this would then allow you to give that free box, have them sign up, and then let it go on. And if you pair this with the cancellation flow feature that we discussed earlier, this will allow you to set minimum requirements for how long someone is subscribed for, whereas you get a box free, but you have to stay subscribed for at least 6 to 12 months. So those are the 2 features that we've recently added for subscription boxes, but we're consistently improving how they work. Another thing we actually did is just did a complete integration with our product options app, which will allow you to basically create like a customized form to put on the product page to gather more information. I know that a lot of subscription boxes will ask, features like, what brand of dog do you have and what size of dog do you have? You could actually build this all into the product page instead of having to break it out into multiple flows now. So if you're ready, Justin, let's jump into some of the questions here and see what ones we have here. So Uh, what the first question actually is one that I can probably answer for you, Justin, and it's asking about how you guys were able to implement a time left to order on next month's box, which is this feature up here. And this actually is, if I'm not mistaken, so this was done by one of your designers, but this doesn't have any sort of integration with recurring orders. It's simply a time down of to the 10th of the month, I believe it is. I may be mistaken on that, but it's basically. You might be able to correct me on that, Justin.
Yeah, we cut off all of our orders at the end of the month. So if you don't order by 11:59 p.m. on the last day of any given month, then, well, I should say if you do order by that time, then you get the next month's order. So this is just a simple JavaScript countdown to that time.
Yeah, so definitely anybody could, if you wanted to, you could integrate this, but it's not a specific feature of recurring orders. Um, Next question we have is for Justin. You maybe I'll answer this. Is what do you guys use a fulfillment service, and what did you guys take into account when looking for a fulfillment service?
Yeah, we actually we're on a third fulfillment service now. Um, and we've had some growing pains in that regard. Um, you definitely want to look at the price. That's important, but you also want to make sure that you have good support. So if there are any issues with shipments, you can get on the phone with them. You can contact them and quickly have someone helping you out to figure out what's going on with, say, tracking numbers. You want someone that can help you in any uh, technology features that you need, such as tracking, which is so important because if tracking information doesn't go out, you'd be amazed at how many people contact customer service, and then you spend your days responding to people saying, "Here's your tracking number." Um, yeah, so I think it's a combination of price and really good support and customer service when selecting someone who's going to do your fulfillment.
For sure, and I think that goes back to exactly what you said earlier, which was, finding those kind of pain points and the things that you spend a lot of money on and trying to automate them.
Yeah.
Uh, Another question we have, and this one I can answer, I believe. Justin, you can correct me if you're wrong. It's a customer is asking about what theme you guys use, but if I'm not mistaken, it's a completely custom theme, correct?
Yeah, it is pretty much completely customized, but on it's based on some sort of base theme, but I forget what this theme is called. Let me see if I can find that real quick.
That's fair, yeah. And the theme names are generally sometimes they're not the easiest to respond to or remember because they just have some generic names.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I don't see the name of it, but it's highly customized anyway. So we've done a lot of work, and it doesn't really resemble the original anymore anyway.
And I've kind of noticed, with a lot of different subscription boxes, the ones that have done it best, like you guys have customized the theme a lot to really match your business. Because obviously, it's not, a subscription box model is not the exact same as just like a clothing shop. You need to have specific features and kind of a built-in flow. There's a lot of things that you're looking for when you're building out this website.
Yeah, definitely. We want to make sure that all the marketing matches with our website and that the flow makes sense for what we're selling.
So I think we got just a couple more questions here for you, Justin. One was about forecasting your subscription box kind of trajectory. So the question was, how how did you or did you forecast how many subscription boxes you'd sell for the first time? Did you take pre-orders and then allocate stock, or did you have a fairly good idea?
That's a really, really great question. It's something that I work on a lot is forecasting, how much we need to purchase. As far as when we first started, I, man, I can't really answer that with any sort of authority. I think we kind of just winged it in the beginning, but as we scaled, it became increasingly important because, if we overorder, then we end up with a ton of extra inventory sitting in the warehouse that's costing us money. And if we underorder, then we have customers that aren't satisfied because, we're shipping things late. So it really is an important part of our business. And I guess for me, it really is just a lot of Excel work and a lot of looking at trends as far as seasonal trends throughout the year. How many boxes people are buying, how many of each type of box, and which boxes people are switching to and from, that sort of thing. And it's really just a lot of numbers crunching and a lot of Excel.
A lot of Excel sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it actually, that's one area where we could really automate things better. And if I find the time, I will definitely do that.
Oh, that's for sure. Well, I mean, less time spent in an Excel spreadsheet is well, time well spent. That's my opinion. A couple more questions kind of rolled in here. Customers asking about a feature of the app, whether it's possible to add more fields on the checkout. The way that the checkout is modifiable. You guys can upload custom code. You can put a logo in here like Lucky Tackle Box did. But the actual questions that are asked on the checkout are locked. We need specific information in order to process the data through the payment gateway. So we can't remove fields because most of it is required on our end. And we can't add any new fields because the app doesn't know how to recognize those fields. So if you're looking to add, to ask customer more information, for example, to ask them, what species of fish they like or something like that, you could actually add, using our product options app, a little drop-down box on the product page, which would then get processed and go through and appear on the order once the customer makes the purchase. It's a great way to also kind of, increase your conversion rate because we know any questions you're adding to the checkout may reduce the fact or reduce the chance that the customer actually ends up buying the product. So let's see what other questions we have here. How many SKUs does Lucky Tackle Box carry? And I think that's quite a few. You guys support a bunch of different styles of fish, right?
Yeah, as far as the box subscriptions, I believe we have 8 different box types.
Yeah, I'm looking at them here. Are you a fisher yourself, Justin?
Those are them right there. I'm an occasional fisherman.
Yeah, when you can get out at least. It's kind of hard to get out sometimes.
Yeah, we took a company fishing trip last year in California, and it was awesome. So much fun.
I've been pushing for the company here to go do it. We live in both in Manitoba and Canada, and we have literally tons of lakes around us and tons of different fishing opportunities, but we still haven't gone out. But maybe one day. I'll keep pushing for it. I'll keep
I know where
pushing.
you can get some tackle.
Exactly. I got a perfect person to hook me up with some tackle. Um, is there anything else you'd like to share, Justin? I know we have there's a few other questions here, but they're mostly specific to the app, and I'll respond to each one individually. But I just wanted to see if there's anything else you wanted to add about whether talking about Lucky Tackle Box, about recurring orders in general, about the app, your experience with it, any last minute advice, or just anything you want to it's your chance to talk a little bit about Lucky Tackle Box.
Uh, no, not a whole lot to add. I mean, my basic advice if you're starting a subscription program is, like I said before, make sure to automate as much as possible so you can scale. And I think recurring orders is a really great app to use in managing your subscription program. If you're interested in fishing, you know where to find us, luckytacklebox.com. We have that discount code right there on the website. You can see free LT. You get an extra live target bait in your first box.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely a customer. I just need to get out a little bit more and fish.
Yeah.
Well, Justin, I want to thank you again for jumping on with us here. I think this is a great value to have somebody like you who's so knowledgeable about subscriptions and works for such a fantastic company, Lucky Tackle Box. I think that anyone listening definitely hopefully got something out of this, being able to hear your advice about starting a subscription service. If any of you guys have questions afterwards, of course, you may think of them. Feel free to email them to, you can email it to me directly, kevin@boldapps.net. Normally I tell you to go to our support team, but these questions might be a bit more specific to this webinar, so please send them to kevin@boldapps.net. The second thing I want to let you guys know is this will be made available as a recording, which we'll be sharing probably in a week's time. So if you join late and you missed out on the first little bit, no worries. We'll be emailing you a link to watch it later. And lastly, I want to mention our next School of Commerce, which will be on, I believe it's Thursday, March 2nd, in which we'll be having Spently on, which is a app for helping you improve increasing order value after the checkout. So it's basically a way for you to integrate this app, and when the order confirmations go out, use them as an additional sales opportunity. So a really cool app that will help you sell more. So again, thank you guys for joining. Thanks, Justin, for being here. And we look forward to seeing you guys at our next School of Commerce lesson. Have a great day.